2023 was quite the year for real estate in Canada, and most notably for Calgary. What were the factors influencing last year's market? And more importantly, where is the market heading? Hi, I'm Rob Azant with the Justin Haver Real Estate team at eXp. First, we need to talk about a year that most realtors in Canada would like to forget. It really begins in March of 2022 when the Bank of Canada started their assault on interest rates. Through the course of 10 interest rate hikes, the average house price in Canada dropped 16%. Ontario, 20%. The one bright spot was Alberta. Despite interest rates going from 0.5% to 5%, the average home price in Alberta went up 3.5%. Calgary, an astonishing 7.5%. So why Calgary? Why is Calgary's housing market so different from any other metropolitan center? It comes down to population growth. In the last year, Calgary's population has grown 4.3%, or we've added 195,000 people. More astonishingly is that 55,000 of that population growth was due to interprovincial migration, meaning more people came into Alberta than left Alberta from other provinces. Last quarter, the interprovincial migration number was 17,000. Every province in Canada lost people to Alberta. That is astonishing. So why are people moving to Alberta? And in particular, Calgary? Well, it's a great city. Energy is doing well. We have a young population, relatively good healthcare, education, but most importantly, it comes down to affordability. Despite the drop in housing prices, if you look at a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in Vancouver, it's going to set you back $800,000 plus. That equivalent property in Calgary is going to run you right around $400,000. If we look at a single detached home in the GTA, that's still going to run you around $1.4 million. That equivalent property in Calgary, $700,000. With interest rates where they are, home ownership is just unaffordable in other parts of the country. Where is the market heading in 2024? If we look at last year's factors that influence the market, the same factors will apply this year. If we look at the supply-demand side of the equation, demand will far outstrip supply. There's still a ton of people moving into this province strictly from an affordability standpoint, and that's not going to change. On the supply side, Canada has a chronic shortage of about 3 million homes that need to be built. Calgary is no exception. Now let's talk about interest rates. The most common mortgage product is the 5-year fixed mortgage. That's based on the 5-year Canadian bond yield. Essentially, what lenders do is they look at that yield, they add 1.5% to 2% to it for their margin to calculate what the 5-year fixed mortgage rate will be. In October of this year, the 5-year Canadian bond yield reached a peak of 4.4%. That resulted in the 5-year Canadian mortgage rate of 6%. In December of this year, the Bank of Canada decided to hold their interest rates. Economists looked at this decision and the guidance and other economic factors, and they've come to the conclusion that the Bank of Canada will need to lower interest rates next year in the range of 1.5% to 2%. The 5-year Canadian bond yield, or the bond market, reacted to this news, and the 5-year Canadian bond yield dropped to 3.4%, resulting in a 5-year fixed mortgage rate of 5%, almost a full percentage drop. What does this mean to the average consumer? Well, let's say I'm making around a little over $100K a year. I have a $100,000 deposit. At 6%, I can basically afford a property and be qualified for property of around $465,000. When the interest rate goes from 6% to 5%, all of a sudden I qualify for a $500,000 home. Woohoo! Let's go shopping. Not so quickly. Let's look at what's really going on in the market. Currently, we have a fairly balanced market. Not a ton of supply and not a ton of buyers, but things are moving. We do, however, have a ton of people sitting on the outside. We'll call them fence sitters. They're just ready to buy. They're looking for some confidence in the market. They want to know that interest rates aren't going to go up, and if anything, they're going to go down, and they are anxious to buy a property. Now that they've gone back to their lender and the lender said, oh, we're going to requalify you in your mortgage and you can afford an extra $35,000 and you have confidence in the market, these fence sitters are going to pile in and become ready to buy. We will add some more supply to the market in the spring market, and there are people anxious to sell. But the amount of people ready to buy is going to far exceed the amount of supply out there. What does that mean? Prices are going to go up. So that same house that you could get for $465,000 right now, in a couple months, it will be $500,000. So what are you supposed to do? Really, the best thing, if you're looking to buy, you really want to buy in the next month or two. That's the best option. If you can't buy right away, well, look at buying in, if you're not ready to buy right away and you have to buy a little bit later, the bottom line is the sooner you buy, the better. Most economists are expecting another drop in the 5-year Canadian bond yield by another 0.5% to 2.9% by June. What does that mean? It means lower bond yield, lower interest rate, higher prices. So what do you need to do to get ready? The most important thing you need to do is talk to your lender, get your pre-qualification ready. Get a pre-qualification letter. If you are not going to be buying, if you're putting a financing condition on a property, the sellers are going to want to see a pre-qualification letter. The other thing that you really want to do is get all your paperwork in order. It's going to be a very heated market and you want to be ready to go. Know what type of property you want to buy. Make sure all the paperwork is done so that you're ready to put an offer in. If you need any help, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you out. So to summarize, what we're expecting in the new year. Confidence will be up. Interest rates are dropping. Prices are going to be going up. It is going to be a very, very busy year. Anyways, good luck out there if you're looking at buying a property. Love to help you out. I can be reached on my cell at 587-317-1859 or shoot me an email at rob@justinhaver.com. Please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd like to just take this time to wish everybody a really happy new year, hoping that it is very prosperous.